Hey guys, it's Hammer Geek here. You know, one of the things that's really challenging about Elliott Waves is getting the count right, or to the best of your ability to get it right. I know you're not going to get it right. I don't get it right all the time, but that's one of the things. As good as it is, there's still some interpretation that needs to happen to place your wave count. And it's always possible to get your wave count wrong. And that's one of the things that, honestly, about the book that I found kind of unsatisfying was that, well, if it goes wrong, then it means your wave count's wrong. Well, like, tell me how to make my wave count right. And so that's what I'm going to try to do in this video. Somebody had asked me on Reddit inside the Elliott Wave Lab book, or Elliott Wave subreddit, had asked, you know, how did you find the indicators you used? And the truth is they're not indicators. They're just measuring tools. But imagine you're looking at this chart right here and you want to put some, you know, like, well, I guess that looks like a 1 and that looks like that's probably a 2, which makes this probably a 3. But now it gets a little wonky over here, and I'm not sure what's going on. Is this all a 4, right? And then if that's the case, where's 5? I mean, that could be, except that 1 is so low. One of the rules is 4 cannot track into the territory of 1. And so you see how maybe that's not 1 and 2. Maybe it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, and then where's the 4 go? It can't go here. Or 3, that can't be 4 unless it's, I mean, maybe that's a diagonal, and then this is 2, but then you still get, this is the end of a bigger 1. You follow where I'm going here, right? So that's one of the biggest challenges with Elliott Wave placement, and I use it, you know, like I'm in a trade right here. Let me go down to like the 5 or 15 minute. You know, I'm in a trade right here, and it's going against me. But actually the stop loss is in the right place. It needs to be right there. Because you see these orange measuring tools in the background. Let me hide this. These orange measuring tools are what help me put my stop loss there. And that's what I want to show you. Because here's pretty much what I'm getting. I'm pretty sure this right now is a zigzag. It may turn into a complex correction. But this is a zigzag too. And I can tell you that because I can measure it, and I'll pick zigzag. So see how price started here, came down, and it came up to here. It reversed inside this orange zone. Now you're like, well, David, that doesn't tell me that that's a zigzag. Well, you're right. So let's just show you real quick, and then I'll show you how to make them. So I use these measuring tools. So this is a retracement tool, which is your third one down. It's the first one on there, fib retracement. And then I have these templates that I made, which is nothing more than just saving the settings that you put. So this one says correction zigzag, right? That's the one I already put there. But what if it was a regular flat? Well, then wave B, I didn't mark these, but let's do that real quick. ABC. If this was a regular flat, then wave B would need to come all the way up to the origin of wave A, somewhere in this zone. What if it is an extended flat? Let's see if I can click my... What if it's a flat, expanded flat, or running flat, right? Then it would need to go all the way up to there. So based on those three options, expanded flat and running flat both have the same B retracement levels. Regular flat means it's going to come back to close to where the correction started, or a zigzag, right? So that's zigzag and 1, 2, 3 different kinds of flats. Now you tell me, if I click through these, which one did price reverse in? I mean, it's pretty clear, zigzag. So if I know I'm expecting a wave 2. I'm expecting it to be a corrective pattern, so I know that it should turn around somewhere in one of those 3 areas. It turned around in the zigzag area. So now, assuming that, like, I don't know this, I can forecast where wave C might end. And I can do that using the second tool on the list here, which is trend-based fib extension. Now, trend-based fib extension requires 3 touch points. Basically, what you're going to do is take a measurement from point A to point B, and then you're going to take the value of that measurement and place it somewhere. It's very similar to doing this. Take the stick. Okay, that's this stick now represents the length of wave A. And if I put that on wave B, look at that, it goes there. What do we know? On a zigzag, wave C tends to be as long as wave A. So you can do it like this, but sometimes it gets more complex. And there's more to the guidelines and the rules. And so to do that, I've got my favorites down here. But so this is trend-based fib extension. And so I'm going to 3-click it here. I'm going to go from the origin of A to the end of A. So I've just measured the length of A, and now I'm going to take that measurement and I'm going to place it where wave B ended and turned around. And then I'm going to select, it's actually already on there, but I'm going to select my zigzag target zone. And my target zone is this whole orange area, and on this one I have this right here is 1.0 to 1.05 just to create a little bit channel. I call that the sweet spot for zigzags because, again, like I said, wave C tends to be the same length as wave A. Now, if it was something else, I'll click through them real quick, but I also have measurements, so I've got these 4 corrections. This is where the expanded flat and the running flat differ. So I got zigzag. If I had a regular flat, then I expect to turn around kind of in that same area, but we've already determined it's not a regular flat. If it's an expanded flat, then I expect the turnaround to be down here. If it's a running flat, then I expect it to be up here. And so you can see how well these, some of these do overlap, but the point is I can measure where I'm expecting wave C to go because I already know the relationship between wave A and wave B. And that relationship, remember on this upper one, was the zigzag measurement. So I know that I'm looking for a zigzag measurement on wave B. I hope that makes sense. Let me go to some blank space here and just show you how I've made these measurements. So we've kind of gone over the corrections. There's also measurements for wave 3 and wave 5 targets. So I want to show you that. I'm going to go over to just this Bitcoin chart and get way up here in no man's land. So let's go over the first one. I'm going to try to go through these really quick. Let's say this is wave 1. That's a really short number 1. This is wave, oh, don't even try that. Okay, this is wave 1. And then we got coming down here wave 2. So I'm going to use my fib retracement, start from the origin and go up, and then I'm going to select my wave 2 retracement. These are blue. And so same thing. I'm expecting wave 2 to turn around somewhere in here. It can go all the way down to the bottom, right? Because one of the rules or the guidelines of wave 2, one of the rules is that wave 2 cannot extend beyond the origin of wave 1, which is here. So it can't go any further than that. But we're talking about probabilities. And probabilities tell us that it's more likely that it is going to turn around at 0.5, 0.618, or 0.786. 618 is the most common, 5 is the second most common, and 7 is the third most common. So that's the tool. Here's how I made it. While you've got you're on your fib retracement measurement right there, you open up the little gear icon, and then you turn these on, and you can change the values, right? So I can make that 1, I can make that 0.896, right? And then it will put that gray colored line, and I can make the color anything I want to. But I'm sticking with these: 0.5, 0.618, 0.786. And this stuff comes from a combination of the Elliott Wave Principal book, which you can get from myelliottwave.com. It's free. You got to make an account, but you just give them your email, and bam, you got an account. It's a free account. And then you can open this, and you can read, You know, like here, this is the section in chapter 2 about summary of rules and guidelines, and like one of those I just read was never wave 2 never moves beyond the start of wave 1. So that's a rule for wave 2. If it moves beyond, it's not wave 2, it's something like that. Also, look at this. Wave 2 is usually a zigzag. Not always, this is a guideline, but wave 2 is usually a zigzag. And we just demonstrated we had a wave 2 in that, a zigzag in that wave 2 position earlier. I also encourage everybody to do this. I have these notes that I make from the Elliott Wave book, but also from Ellioticians that I respect, like Jeffrey Kennedy. As a matter of fact, this is a quote of his that I keep at the top of my little notes book. If you can't count it, don't trade it. I'll just tell you right now, I don't give this away, and it's not that I'm hoarding it to myself. I just don't trust it. It's my notes. I don't even guarantee that any of it's correct. You know, I think it's correct. I think it's good enough for me. It's a living document. Lots of things are changing. But let me go down. There's not much for wave 2. You'll see it. But let me go down to, or not much for wave 1, because that's just it. But wave 2, one of the things, you know, measurements, 618 is most common, 5 and 786. Again, I got these from the Elliott Wave book, from Ellioticians, and from other things, and just a lot of research to come to that conclusion. So that's why I've turned on, you know, 0.5, I made 0.5, 0.618, 0.786, and then go to template and go to save as, and this one, you know, I just call wave 2 retracement. If you'll notice right here, I put this 0-1. That's just to help me remember, so I don't have to go pull open the book every time, that to get this wave 2 projected turnaround point, retracement point, I'm going to measure from the origin of the 5-wave count, the origin of wave 1 to the end of wave 1. That's the O to 1. So now I'm going to look for, and I'm not going to go in this much detail in every one. I'm going to scoot it on back, get going here. But so I'm expecting, if this is wave 2, it's most likely to turn around somewhere in this blue area. I think that makes sense. But now, so if this is wave 2, that is a terrible 2. Writing with this drawing tool is not always friendly. Okay, that's wave 2. If that is 1 and 2, then this must be 3, right? We think this is 3 and it's going to go higher, and this is where we're like, oh, well, I want to make a trade. And I'm not even going to talk about trading as far as like, should you put in a long right here as soon as it crosses that line and put your stop loss here? I'll talk about that in other videos. I just want to work on the drawing tools for here. So that's that. 2, and then, so let's do wave 3. So wave 3 is going to be different. You're going to use the extension tool, trend-based fib extension. It's the second one down on this third menu item. And that one's a 3-point touch. And so I'm going to go from the origin of 1 to the end of 1. So basically what I'm doing is I'm measuring that length, just like I did on that wave A earlier. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag that measurement down to wave 2. And you see this is not right? So I need to select my templates, and then I'm going to go right here, fib extension wave 3 target, and I've got O-1, 2, which means I'm measuring from the origin to 1, and then I'm taking that measurement and placing it at wave 2, which is what I just demonstrated. I measured this, and then I took that measurement and placed it at 2. It's just similar to what I did with the stick, but the benefits of doing it with the measuring tool is now, you know, here I am right at the 1 level, but now I can see where the 1,618 level is, the 2,618 level, the 3,618 level, right? I can see all those other levels up there, and so I can make some forecasted estimations. Again, this is for my trade. If I'm going to be long, I'm like, how long is it likely to go up here? And so therefore I got some targets. To make this one, it's very similar to the other. You hit the gear icon, and then you select, not just select, like you can turn these things on, but you can also change the value in them like I did earlier. But these are the ones I have. One, the 272, I just kind of have it in there as a, like, I'm hoping it goes at least that far. But the 618, 2618, 3618, and I made them all green because this is where I'm expecting to go. And then same thing, save as, and I call this one a fib extension, wave 3 target, and it's got that 0 or an O-1, 2. and I save it. Now it's always there for me to use. So let's say, okay, wave 3 goes up. Let's just say it goes to 1618 and starts doing this. Now I want to know where this would potentially be the, we'll call this the end of wave 3. So we're thinking this is probably a wave 4. So what do we have for wave 4 measurements? Kind of the same thing. But let's say I'm sitting there going, well, I can't remember. How do I measure wave 4? Do I measure from the origin of 1 to 3 and then 4? Or do I measure from 2 to 3 to get 4? How do I, you know, I'm lost, I'm confused. Well, first of all, you can just pick one. So let's go to our retracement tool here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start from 2, and I'm going to go to 3, and then I'm going to go in here into my template and select wave 4 retracement. Oh, look, it says 2-3. That's what I did. 2-3. This is what I'm looking for. Again, this is a guideline for wave 4 retracement. I'm expecting wave 4 to come down somewhere in this blue range. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. Is this, you know, surefire way? No, this is probabilities. But again, wave 4s tend to go about halfway back, or like a 382. Sometimes they can go longer, but one thing we know is that they can't go beyond the end of wave 4 or wave 1. If that's the case, then it's not a wave. Then it's not a wave 4. I go back to my notes here. Oh, here's the wave 3, you know, measurements: 1618 to 2618. Wave 4, 382 of wave 3, or half of wave 3, which is why this tool is set up that way. And it's the same thing. Click on it real quick, hit the gear icon. That was a brush. Let me turn the brush off. Click this, hit the gear icon, 382.5, made it blue. The background is what fills it in to kind of give me like a zone. And I say, okay, that's why I like for the wave 3, I don't do the zones. I have it turned on for 5, but I need to turn it off. Okay. So let's keep going so we don't take forever. So we think that's wave 3. Here's wave 4, and then it starts to go up again. So now I'm looking for a wave 5 extension. This one I actually have 2 options on. Let's keep in mind right here, wave 3, where did it stop? It stopped in this 1618, right? It went about to 1618 and then went down. That's going to be important because I'm going to turn this green off because I don't want to get lost in the shuffle here. So we're going to do like we did for wave 3. Remember, we did a 3-point touch, the origin to 1, take that measurement and then placed it on 2. We're going to do something similar. So we're going to select again our fib-based extension tool. I'm going to go from 2 to 3, and then see there's some lines up there, and I'm going to take those measurements and I'm going to put them on 4. And then like before, I'm going to select my template. And look, I've got 2 wave 5s, 2 wave 5 targets. One says if 3 was less than 1618, then you're going to measure from the origin all the way to 3 and put that on 4. Let me just show you what that looks like. So that's right there. Double check, did I do that right? No, I didn't. See, I measured from 2. So I'm going to measure from the origin. From the origin to 3. And that's my stuff. And the reason I did that is because if 3 is less than 618, it's not a hard rule. It's just kind of a general, very loose guideline that maybe 3 is not extended. I mean, it's longer than 1, but not a lot. It's not twice as long as 1 or 3 times as long as 1. And so I'm saying if it's less than 1618, then it's probably not an extended wave. And the Elliott book talks about if wave 3 is not extended, then wave 5 tends to be a Fibonacci relationship to the distance from the origin to wave 3. Go read that in the book. But so you can see now, so I've got 618, I've got 1, I've got 1618. Let me make sure I selected the right thing. I am on the 03, 4. And same thing, you know, I just 1618, 1, or 618, 1, and 1618. Again, go to my wave 5 things here. See, this is where my notes are not complete. My tools are better than my notes. So anyway, so that's for that. Now, if wave 3 went beyond 618, then that would change what template I select. So I'm gonna select the greater than or equal to 1618. So basically, this is me saying wave 3 was extended, because one of the other things the book says is if wave 3 is extended, then wave 5 tends to approximate wave 1. And so that's, I just realized this should be O-2. So I'm going to fix that right now, live on the screen. When wave 3 is extended, basically wave 5 tends to be about the same length as wave 1. And so that's why this target box here is centered on a 1.0. That's 1.0 of the length. Now I've got to fix my measurement because I don't have the right places selected here. I've got 0 to 3 and then 4, but it should be 0 to 1, right? The length of 1 is how long we expect 5 to be if 3 is extended. It's the same. This is back to the same thing as, you can do the stick. If I put that there, then you can see it's in that box there. So that's where I'm expecting wave 5. Now let me fix my, I do put a shadow box there. I don't know why. But I need to save template as fib extension. It's going to be this one, but I need to rename it. Extension wave 5 target if, oh, I can't remember how to do the greater than less than sign. If 3 is, I'll just do greater than right now because I can't remember. Greater than 1.618. And then this needs to be origin dash 1 comma 4. I'm going to measure from the origin to the end of wave 1. Basically, I'm going to measure the length of wave 1. I'm going to put that on wave 4. Save. So that's that tool, and I've got it saved here in my templates right there. I don't know how I got that wrong. So that's motive wave. I'm going to go super quick. You get how to make these templates now. Let's real quick just look at corrective waves. So we know like inside this wave 4 correction, if we were to zoom in 1,000 times, we're going to get, we're looking for like a zigzag or a, see if I can draw these right, an A, B, C that's close to that, kind of looks like a flat, an A, B, C, which is I think that's an expanded flat, or an A, B, C. It's a running flat, I think. Who's any bets on whether or not those measurements are exact? I'm sure they're not. Let me get rid of all this stuff because we're done with it. And then I'll just quickly show you these tools. So the same thing, the first wave is always going to be a fib retracement. So these are all, just assume these are origin, A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. So A is going to be the first one down. From the origin down to A, I'm going to select my template. And this is where, if you don't know what it is, you can cycle through each one of these. Because what you pick, especially in corrections, what you pick for the first one, not what you pick, but what you determine from the first one is going to help you pick on the next one. Let's say zigzag. Okay, look, it turned around the zigzag. Let's say I'm not sure. What about a flat? Oh, the flat or the expanded or running flat needs to go way up there. Regular flat needs to go way up there. So it's definitely none of those. And what you get with this is oh, then this must be a zigzag. Again, you select your stuff. I make it a different color so I know it's a correction. But 382, 5, 618, 786. Right? It matches. It's a corrective wave structure. I already know that because, whatever. I've been watching this thing move up for quite a while, and now it's doing this. It's a corrective wave structure. But because I'm able to determine, this is the power of using these measurements, because I am able to determine the only corrective measurement that makes sense here is zigzag. Now I can forecast where I think wave C is going to end. Same thing, trend-based extension. this is the 3-point touch from the origin to wave A. I just measured the length of wave A, and I'm going to project that from the end of wave B where it turned around, and then I'm going to select. Which one am I going to select? I don't need to worry about, is it this one, is it this one, is it this one? I already know I need to select zigzag, because zigzag is where the price turned around, right? Remember this first measurement, the only one that made sense is zigzag, so this has got to be a zigzag. Look at that, boom, boom, boom. I drew that one right. Okay, let's get rid of those and go on to the flat. You get the gist here. I'm going to go through these really quickly. Fib extension, boom. Select, this is going to be a regular flat. Same thing, the measurements here really are, I have 0.8 to 1.1, so there's a little bit of leeway there because it's not always exact. And then I can use my fib base extension, 0 to A, project that from B, and then select. Now I don't know, oh no, regular flat, there's only one choice, regular flat, boom, that's where it's going to turn around. There it is. Or I should say that's where it should turn around. There it is. All right. This thing does not want to go over there. There we go. For this one, again, the first measurement is always fib. So we're going to go here to 0 to A. Pretty sure it's not a zigzag. Pretty sure it's not a regular flat. So it must be an expanded flat or a running flat. Pretty close. Man, I almost drew that. And that's the other thing, too, with using these measurements. It helps train your eye because you're selecting these templates that have a name on it. And it helps kind of train your eyes, like this is what an expanded or running flat looks like. This is what a regular flat looks like. This is what a zigzag looks like. And it helps train your mind into what you're seeing when you're looking at the chart. Okay, so let's measure. So what did we say? Oh, we said this is an expanded or running flat. So now we can trend base extension, 3-point touch, origin to A, take that measurement, project it from the end of wave B, and then we're going to select, we know it's either expanded or running. So if it's expanded, oh, it turns around there. Or if it's running, it's going to turn around sooner. So I actually drew this one wrong. So this one's, let's call this expanded flat. Boom. All right. Last one. And I'm going to redraw it because I drew it wrong, because you don't see these a lot. This should be down, it should be up, and then almost like a reverse zigzag now that I think about it. Now that I'm looking at it, right? Kind of looks like a reverse zigzag. All right, let's see if I'm anywhere close. Retracement, origin to A, select, oh, so close. Expanded flat or running flat has the same value for a turnaround spot. And then, so let me do this, because I want it to be as good for you guys as possible, so that I can get done with this video that's getting insanely too long. And then we're going to measure, right? So no, we know it now. We know it's at least, it's either an expanded or it is a running. This is one that you may not know until afterwards, but 0 to A, take that measurement, project it from B, and if it is, let's see, templates, if it is expanded, we're expected to come all the way down to there. If it is running, then we only expect it to come down there. That was the one that I said looks kind of like a backwards zigzag. So again, if you're trading this, a turnaround in this area, right, in this orange area that could be expanded or running, you have an option, like not an option, it's less certain. Like I wouldn't trade that because I'm like, I don't know if it's going to go to here or if it's going to go, oh, I need to select it. Or if it's going to go, that's the running, or if it's going to go all the way down to here, right? I don't have any confidence because there's too many options as to how far down this line might go. So I probably wouldn't trade it any, or I'd be prepared for a reversal in this higher one. And then if it happens to go further, then so be it. So anyway, that's the tools that I use for measurement. Again, they help you to eyeball and see things on the charts a little bit better. Let me end with showing you just one real world scenario. That is not it. Hold on a second. Oh, that is it. I already showed you the one over here, where's the zigzag. This one looks like it's playing out to be a zigzag as well. This is one, actually I have a long open right now. And so this is what I'm hoping for. I might fail in this also because right now wave 2 was a zigzag, which is very common for wave 2. But one of the other one of the other little guidelines in the book is the rule of alternation. And the basic thing, the rule of alternation is basically just like whatever happens in wave 2, expect something different in wave 4. So if wave 2 tends to be a zigzag, wave 4 will probably be something other than a zigzag. Well, right now I've got a zigzag, which it can happen, it's just a guideline. But what I would expect is more likely a flat up here of some kind, or I'm going to end up with some kind of combination, an extended, a double 3 or something like that. So I might have this zigzag with a smaller zigzag correction in it, and then I might have a flat 1, 2, 3, and then price gets going. This is why you get those crazy like bum 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 bum, bum going sideways for a while, and you're trying to figure out why. A lot of times those corrections. I'll do another video on corrections because I think corrections are one of the most powerful things that if you can train your mind to see them, it will really help you be successful in your training. Anyway, that's it. My chart's a mess, but this is how you make those measuring tools. It's not an indicator, but they really help you out. If you got any questions, encourage anybody just to join the Elliott Wave Lab. It's predominantly about Elliott Waves, but I would say it's not exclusive because I do use other tools and other indicators and things to help me, but my base case is Elliott Wave theory, and then other things that supplement that to help give me even more confidence in my trade. All right, I'm Hammer Geek. If you have any questions or comments, put them below. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.